Hey guys, welcome to my first Division 2 build video. After finally making it to the endgame and World Tier 4, the grind 2 begins. The missions and strongholds on challenging difficulty have been my top choice for farming. They are a lot of fun, and like the name says, they're challenging. They also provide you with some really good gear and weapons. So my first goal is to put together a PVE build that does two things: keeps me alive and does some devastating damage. Let's start with the base of the build. I go with the Demolitionist. Now for PvE, I really like the high magazine capacity of LMGs. Great for shredding down mobs of enemies and enemy bosses' armor. So I fully upgraded the Onslaught skill for a 15% LMG damage increase. So that brings me to my LMG. I use the MK46. It has a 15% damage buff to enemies out of cover, and I love the talent it has called Frenzy. When you empty the magazine and reload, you get a 35% increase in damage and fire rate for 7 seconds. All my attachments are for stability and reload speed, two features this gun falls short on. Next is my sniper rifle. I use the Hunting M44. This beast has 138% headshot damage and a base damage of 89.5 thousand. It has some decent talents, but the good one here is distance for 15% optimal range. For my mods, I go for headshot damage and critical hit damage. Altogether, this gives me a 61% crit damage and 198% headshot damage. This gun is a lot of fun to use. Alright guys, let's move on to the gear pieces. For my mask, I use the Murakami Industry 1. It gives me some much needed health and armor regeneration, but the main reason I equip this one is for that 27% damage to elites. Moving on to my chest piece, I go with the 2-piece Providence Defense. This one gives me skill power, health, and a larger grenade radius, but the reason I choose this one is for crit chance, crit damage, and headshot damage. All of my mods on my gear, I go for health and weapon damage. Next is my holster. I use the 3-piece Airaldi holding set for my sniper rifle. The 3-piece gives you a 10% accuracy, 10% headshot damage, and a 10% marksman rifle damage buff. Again, for my mods, weapon damage, this one also boosts my optimal range and headshot damage as well. Moving on to my knee pads, my second Providence Defense piece, good for skill power, health, and armor regeneration, and the mods are perfect for my sniper. Next is my gloves, number 2 of the Airaldi set for my sniper. This one has a nice little 7% damage buff for my LMG as well. And finally, the last piece of my gear set, my backpack. This is the 3rd piece of the Airaldi Holdings gear set. It gives me those sniper buffs. I wish I had better talents, but it's good enough. And my mod is for weapon damage, handling, and range. Real quick, I'll show you the 2 skills I use that I like to use in PVE. I wouldn't necessarily use these in PvP personally, but they are great for PVE. I use the Fixer Drone because it's nice to have your own personal healer follow you around while you're fighting. Last part is the Chem Launcher. I use the Fire Starter. As you saw in the beginning of the video, in my gameplay, this thing is a force in battle, especially against groups of enemies and bosses. Alright guys, that will do it for this video. I have a lot more content in the works. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button, subscribe, share the video. I'd appreciate it. We'll see you in the next video, agents.